Good morning, Wayne Lansing here at Historic Auto Attraction. This morning we are in the Illinois Hall of Fame room and I want to show you our artifacts on Soldiers Field. Most people think of Soldiers Field as the Bears, but when Soldiers Field first started, it was called Grant Park Stadium, and a couple years later they changed it to Soldiers Field. That was to honor the Chicago War veterans that lost their lives in World War I. Soldiers Field was built in the mid-1920s. In the year 1935, they started racing these here midgets at Soldiers Field, and they were so popular, they were getting crowds of over 20,000 per week. Then in the year 1942, as the war started, all racing ceased at Soldiers Field. When racing resumed, in the late 1940s, there was a young man named Andy Granatelli. He started promoting stock car races at Soldiers Field. Hey, he was a very clever promoter. He had posters hanging all around Chicago with the words, danger, thrills, spills, excitement guaranteed. He also had 5 racers on his payroll. Their job was to cause crashes and rollovers. It worked. He was getting large crowds of over 20 to 30,000 spectators weekly. NASCAR was known as a Southern sports back in that day, but Andy Granatelli worked out and got him to come to Soldiers Field on July 21st, 1956. Fireball Roberts was the winner of that race. Due to NASCAR coming to town, the popularity of the fans coming to Soldiers Field, racetracks were starting to sprout up all around the Chicagoland area, such as 87th Street Speedway, Raceway Park, Mance Park Speedway, O'Hare Stadium, which is just south of O'Hare Airport at that time. Due to all the racetracks popping up in Chicagoland, Soldiers Field's crowds were getting less and there was a lot of cost to keep it open, and they decided it was best interest if they closed it down. In 1968 was the last race and Sal Travella was the winner. Then in 1971, the Chicago Bears moved in and they've been there ever since. After Soldiers Field shut down, many great racers moved down south. One that achieved great success was Fred Lorenzen. He won the 1965 Daytona 500. As for Andy Granatelli, he went on to own Indy race car teams. He won the Indy 500 in 1969 with Mario Andretti. He bought out STP Corporation and sponsored Richard Petty for many future years to come. All these trophies that we have here that we're showing is accomplishments of all the race drivers that they have achieved through all the years at Soldiers Field. And to have these here in part of the Hall of Fame for everybody to see, it feels very good for all of us involved. This flag was presented to Pat Flattery. He won the 1949 championship at Soldiers Field. He also won the 1950 Rockford Speedway champion. He was the winner of the 1956 Indy 500. When me and Art Furman decided to make a wall for the Soldiers Field dedication, this is what we have for everybody to see, and you can get a look at all we have to offer with Soldiers Field.